Hi guys, and welcome back to my channel. My name is Kathleen, and today's video we are going to do a book haul. So I'm sorry that I've been gone for like the past 2 or 3 months. I know it's been quite a while. To be perfectly honest, I went through a huge reading slump. So basically when I go through a reading slump, it's because I'm obsessing over something, and that something is a British TV show that I found and I completely fell in love with. I watched the show like 3 or 4 different times, and I also started like reading fandoms and fan fiction, and I became, my entire life over the past 2 or 3 months has been all about that show. So I am sorry that I completely abandoned the channel, but I am back, and today we are going to go ahead and start with some of the books that I acquired over these past 2 or 3 months that I've been gone. So let's go ahead and get started. Alright guys, so the first 5 books that I got is an entire series, and it is the Percy Jackson and the Olympian series by Rick Riordan. It is the entire series, all five books, and it is the Lightning Thief, the Sea of Monsters, the Titan's Curse, the Battle of the Labyrinth, and the Last Olympian. And as you can see, I did buy it in the hardback edition because I do prefer hardbacks to paperbacks, and I know that I've been talking about starting this series very soon. It is a middle grade Greek mythology series. It's an adventure about this kid named Percy Jackson who finds out his dad is a Greek god. So I'm really excited. I did watch the first 2 movies based on the first 2 books. Alright, and then the next 3 books that I got in the past 2 or 3 months is a complete trilogy, and it is the Daughters of Smoke and Bones trilogy by Laini Taylor. I have all 3 books, which consist of the Daughters of Smoke and Bones, Days of Blood and Starlight, and Dreams of Gods and Monsters. I have heard nothing but great things about this series, and I found these on Book Outlet. Books are my crack, and a Book Outlet is, you know, what provides me with my addiction. And I got all 3 books off of that website, and I haven't started yet, but I really can't wait because I heard nothing but great things about this series. If you have read this series, let me know down in the comments below what you thought of it, because I'm really excited, especially because on the first book they kind of already catch you. There's no way you can't just not be caught up in the story. It starts off, once upon a time an angel and a devil found love. It did not end well. It just sounds really interesting. I love that beginning because it just captures my attention basically. And the next 3 books that I bought is also a complete trilogy, and it is the Legend trilogy by Marie Lu. It consists of the Legend, the Prodigy, and the Champion. I actually have no idea what the series is about. It is dystopian, I believe. This is a book series that I have been wanting to read for so long, even before I started reading all of the reviews on this series, but it's just a series that I really am excited to read. I got this actually as a gift for Christmas from my sister. She bought me the entire book series set. And then the next 2 books are fantasy books, and they are the first 2 books in the series, and it is the Red Queen and Glass Swords by Victoria Aveyard. I've heard a lot of great things about this series. I don't know what it's about. I think it's about a world where you're divided based on your class is divided based on the color of your blood. But I have been really enjoying fantasy series, so I picked up the first 2 books. Alright, and then the next 2 books that I got is also part of a series. They are the first 2 books in the series. I think it's going to be a trilogy, and it is the Ice Like Fire series. We have Ice Like Fire and Snow Like Ashes, or I think Snow Like Ashes is the first book. I actually knew nothing about this series until it got recommended to me from Amazon based on types of books that I bought before. To be perfectly honest, it's very similar to other fantasy series. It's about a world where it's separated into different types of kingdoms, and the kingdoms are based on like seasons. So you have spring kingdom, you have winter kingdom, you have summer kingdom, and you have like autumn kingdom or something like that. And I think what happened was spring attacked winter and destroyed the winter kingdom, and basically the winter kingdom is trying to come back again. And it just sounds really fantastic. I have not read the book. Alright, and then the next book I have to show you guys is a book that I was actually not recommended by anyone. I have never heard anything about this book until I saw the ad on Facebook. And it is called First Life by Gina Showalter, I think that's how you pronounce the last name. And I saw this, I don't remember who the publisher was, but they ran an ad, like they made a video showing what the book is about, and it really intrigued me. It looked really interesting, and so I went ahead and I bought it. I have not read it yet, but it is a book that's very high on my TBR list. The next book that I bought, I saw this on Barnes and Nobles, and it looked really interesting, and I absolutely loved the cover. And the book is called Walk on Earth, a Stranger, and look at this cover. I absolutely love this cover. It's beautiful. So basically what it's about this girl who has a secret, and her secret is that she can sense gold, and especially she can sense gold deep down on the depths of the earth, I guess. And so because gold is precious and it's, you know, can be money, if someone were to find out about her secret, they could even murder her for it or something like that. So what ends up happening is that someone does find out her secret, and to be perfectly honest, I did pick up the book mostly because of the cover. I absolutely love this cover, and it is by Ray Carson. She is someone who's a very popular author. So I'm very excited to read this book, not just because of the cover, but because the concept is very interesting as well. Alright, and then the next book that I bought, I actually have no idea what it's about, but it is also by the same author as the previous book, and that is Ray Carson, and the book is The Girl of Fire and Thorns. I've heard a lot of great things about the series, however I know nothing about it. I went ahead and bought the first book off of Amazon. I have been eyeing this book for a long time, and I actually never read anything by Ray Carson. She's a she's a best-selling author. And I've heard great things about her writing, so I can't wait to get started. Alright, and then the next book I also bought because the cover intrigued me, and I saw this on Barnes and Nobles, and it is called The Newt's Emerald. Look at it, isn't it gorgeous? So what this book is about, from what I have read, is that on her 18th birthday, the girl, Newt, she is supposed to inherit this emerald that's, I guess, very valuable and maybe has been in her family. I'm not 100% sure. But once she's supposed to receive the emerald, it goes missing. So what ends up being, she is a princess, I believe. So obviously she can't go out and just find it herself. She disguises herself as a boy to go look for it. And obviously along the way, she encounters other people. It looks very interesting. I've had this book for a while. It is definitely very high on my TBR list to read it. Alright, and then the next book that I bought, I got from Book Outlet, and it is called The Prophecy by Ellen O. It is about this girl who is the only girl warrior in the king's army, and she's, I believe, the personal bodyguard for the prince. It just looked really intriguing. Apparently there's a demon army that's invading the kingdom, and I'm not 100% sure. It looked really good. It was really cheap, so I got it. Alright, and then the next two books is by an author that I used to read when I was a child a lot. I was obsessed with this author. I pretty much read all of his book up till like a few years ago, but as soon as I saw that he released these two books, I went ahead and picked it up. And that author is R.L. Stine, and the book is Don't Stay Up Late and Party Games by Fear Street. If you guys, he is like the god of horror books for kids and for like middle grade age, and I loved it. I read all of his Goosebumps books. I'm not gonna lie, I did. It's all I read in elementary school, and then when I got to middle school, I read pretty much his entire Fear Street collection, and I love R.L. Stine. He was so good. Oh, I loved it. It was so good. Alright, and then the next two books that I got were contemporary novels. I love contemporary. I saw these two on Book Outlet, and I went ahead and I picked it up. The first book is Love and Other Unknown Variables by Shannon Lee Alexander, and then the other book is The Geography of You and Me by Jennifer E. Smith. They're both like as you can probably tell by the cover, they are YA contemporary books. I have read some reviews. It just seems like a lot of people enjoy these books, so I went ahead and I picked it up because it was really cheap on Book Outlet. I love Book Outlet. And then another book that I also picked up from Book Outlet, it is called Villain.net Council of Evil. It's about this kid who's bullied, and he runs across this website called, I guess, Villain.net, and it lets him download powers that lets him fight the bullies. It looked really interesting. It was like really cheap. And alright, and then the next book that I got is the first book of the Shadow and Bone series, and that is The Shadow and Bone by Lee Bardugo. I had the other two books in the series. It's a trilogy. I got those two books from Book Outlet, so I bought this off of Amazon, so now I can finally start on this series because the first two books have been sitting on my shelves forever. And it just looks really good. A lot of people have really enjoyed the series. Alright, and then the next few books that I have to show, they are actually the last books on this book haul that I have to show you, are all books that I got from my Owl Crate subscription box. And the first book that I got is Soundless by Rochelle Mead, and it is about this world where nobody can hear, and they live like on top of this mountain where they have to rely on a community that's down at the bottom of the mountain to get food. And then all of a sudden our main character, she starts hearing, and I'm not exactly sure what happens, but I got this from Owl Crate a few months ago. I still have not yet read it, but I will definitely read it very soon. And then the next book that I got also from Owl Crate is The Da Vinci's Tiger by L.M. Eliot. It is, I think it's about this girl who grows up in a wealthy family, and obviously from that time era where women were expected, there was a lot of expectations for them to do certain things, and she doesn't want to do those things. She wants to do her own thing. I think that's what this book is about, but it looked really interesting. It gotten really great reviews, and I have not yet read it, but I will very soon. And then the next book that I also got from Owl Crate is Worlds of Ink and Shadow by Lena Coakley, and this is a magical fantasy retelling of the Bronte sisters, and it's basically regarding of their magical stories that they told as a child. So it looks really interesting. I love the cover of this. It's beautiful, so can't wait to read it. Another book that I got from Owl Crate, this came as an extra book in one of the boxes. It is the Time Machine by H.G. Wells. This is a very old, very popular book. I've actually never read this. It sounds really interesting, and I'm glad. And finally, the last book on this book haul is the book that I received last month in February from Owl Crate, and it looks fantastic. It's called The Love That Split the World by Emily Henry. This is obviously, as you can tell, a contemporary novel. It just looks super fantastic. I have absolutely no idea what it's about, but I just love the cover. Do you see that? I love it, and I cannot wait to read it. Alright guys, so there you go. That's my long, massive book haul, the books that I bought in the past 3 months. Thank you so much for watching. I really hope you enjoyed this video. If you have read any of these books and you have like a strong opinion about it, let me know down in the comments below. Let me know what to expect and if I'm gonna love the book series or not, or the book. I would really appreciate it. Thank you so much. Don't forget to give it a thumbs up, and I'll see you guys on my next video. Have a good day guys, and keep reading. Bye.